Hey guys, episode 44 with the Texas State Songwriters Association 2024 champion, Brandon Howard of Howard County.
Yeah, watch the whole podcast. We'll be naked the whole time.
Except now. Now we're not. So you get to see the transformativeness of getting naked on screen.
Yeah, and you won't even see our faces. It'll be filmed.
And don't
waist down.
Google transformativeness.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey, I'm Rico.
I'm Jake.
Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 44 of the Boston Chris podcast. And this week we have a super treat for everybody, brought to you by our friends at the Speakeasy Coffee House and Palmyra Studios in Palmer, Texas. Speakeasy's in Quitman, by the way. Thank you to both of those awesome facilities for sponsoring this episode. I am super excited to introduce to you guys the front man from the brand new Texas band, Howard County, that made waves and continues to make waves, but started in 2024 with two top 200 singles on the TRRR charts in 2024. That means two different singles in the top 200 for most spun singles in 2024. We have Brandon Howard here on the show to talk about all kinds of stuff, everything to do with Howard County. He's going to perform two songs, including a murder ballad, which is freaking amazing. You guys are going to love it. That one is called The Whole Mountain. We'll get into that very, very shortly. Also, we talk about Brandon growing up in Southwest Louisiana, how moving around kind of shaped his musical influences and his sound over the years. Music as a youngster, the lessons he learned from his mom and his dad. When and how did music become more serious for Brandon? We find out the genesis behind the name Howard County that might surprise you, where he came up with the name for that. We talk about so much stuff with Brandon, like I said, with two songs as well. This is one of the funniest, most hilarious interviews I've ever done, and we've done over 400, so I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of this show. I really, truly enjoyed it. Once again, you guys, please check out my friends at the Speakeasy Coffee House in Quitman and the Palmyra Studios in Palmer. And without further ado, let's get into it with Brandon Howard. Hey guys, it's the Boston Chris podcast with yours truly, Boston Chris. I know it's crazy that the name of the show is the same name as I have. But guys, look who we found. It's Brandon Howard.
In the alley, panhandling.
Yeah, panhandling. We just found him out back. And the coffee shop was closed, and he was desperate for caffeine. So we said, you have to come in here and play some songs. Yeah. And now he's got his latte.
That's man, that's not very cowboy. When you come back and be like, he put whiskey in his coffee. He was really tough. He was
really, really tough.
Yeah, it was black coffee.
We just
don't tell me it was a double latte with.
And Jakey was telling Rico that he was a really good boy.
Aww.
So this is kind of the same vibe. Well, how does this go from one interview to the next without him even knowing?
That's right, man. That's right. I'm a little weird.
We're excited because Howard County has absolutely blown up in 2024.
Yes.
Your very first year on the scene. And I've got a lot of stuff to ask you. But before we get into all of that fun, you came here and played some songs. We weren't joking about that.
No.
We weren't joking about the latte either.
We wouldn't joke about that at all. That's very
absolutely
serious.
not. Guys, we're at the Speakeasy Coffee House. If you're wondering, and you should be, because this place is amazing, and they are our partner. Kelly Box is out here every single day. Even if she's not here, you should still come. No, you shouldn't. No, you should. Absolutely. Come out here. We're in downtown beautiful Quitman, Texas. That's a place. So come out here. Get yourself some awesome stuff here from the Speakeasy. We have two partners or sponsors on this episode. We have the Speakeasy Coffee House, and we have the Palmyra Studios out there in Palmer, Texas with Pappy Middleton, 27-year producer of Bonnie Raitt. I can't believe I get to say that on the show.
That's awesome.
That's a sponsor. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Holy crap. But you played some songs. We weren't joking. The first one is a murder song, which is perfect for the speakeasy. This is called The Whole Mountain. Tell us about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I love playing murder ballads in a former brothel. This is the best thing in the world to do. I love it. No, so this is, can we get into it?
Whatever you need to do, yeah, let's do it. Come on.
I got a buddy, and he's I won't say what department he was with, but he's a detective in Colorado, and
so he's not investigating weed crime.
Exactly. No. So anyway, so we were at Red Rocks. I was watching this awesome band I love called Devil Mix 3 and then Old Crow Medicine Show. They were doing a show together, and we were at Red Rocks, and I spilt my beer on a guy. That's my fault. I messed it up. I felt bad about it.
That's how you met the detective?
No. I just is different. This is tangential. So anyways, I spilt it on him. I felt bad. I was trying to apologize. The guy was like a dick about it. He was like, "Fuck you, man." I'm like, "Whoa, hey, man. I'm sorry, it was me," but he was drunk, he was annihilated, and I'm like holding the beers. I'm like, "I apologize, man, it was my fault." But and he just kept going like, "Why don't you like just kept leaning into me?" And I'm like, "I'm about to whip this dude's ass." So I'm like, "I'm gonna walk away." So I felt like I was being the big man here. I walked away, went back to my seat, gave my beer to my buddy, who's the detective, and I go, "Dude, you would never believe what this douchebag did." And like I told him the story, he's like, "Yeah, and this is a cop, this is a police officer." He says, "She just knocked him out." And I was like, Whoa, excuse me, Detective Blank. I'm not saying your name. You're welcome. But anyways, I'm like, "Hey, man, I can't
say that's an odd name for a detective." But okay.
So I'm like, he said, "If I knocked him out, bro, I'm going to get like, the cops are going to get called." I'm like, "They're not going to find you. Look at this place. This place is packed out. It's sold out. Like, they'll never find you." I'm like, "What if, like, are you telling me, if I just punched this dude and just walked away, nothing would happen?" He goes, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "What the hell?" I mean, I can't believe that. And so I started going down this line with him. I'm like, "So wait a minute, what if I did this? Like, what if I was fighting a dude, knocked him out, but someone got a video?" He goes, "You think we're going to go door to door with this video? Like, hey, have you seen this guy who got two drunk guys got in a fight at a concert?" And it's not going to happen.
It's called a viral video.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then no one's going to like follow up on that crap. He goes, and he basically said, broke it down like this. He's like, "It's not that the cops don't want to solve a crime. It's not. It's just that there's so little resources." And so then I just went on this whole, like, I totally forgot about the concert. And I was just talking to him the whole time, like, what if I did this? Like, and of course it goes back to like
the songwriter brain.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. So I was like, so I go, well, so what if if I killed a dude and I just like buried him? No, that wouldn't work because of this. I'm like, he starts like opening up the like, and so I said, so we're in more. I don't know if you've ever been to Red Rocks. It's awesome. 1964, the Beatles played. There's this huge amphitheater, natural occurring amphitheater. They cut steps in, beautiful, but it's surrounded by mountains. And I go, so if I killed someone and stuck them far enough back in the mountain, you're telling me the other will never get solved? He goes, "Never." And I go, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Hey, man,
it's like the train station on Yellowstone."
Exactly. Right? He goes. So he said something. He goes, "We can't search a whole mountain."
Right.
And that's when I went. And then when I went back home, I was like, so the sheriff can't search the whole mountain.
That's amazing.
So that's the song. That's what it's all about. It's about a woman that married a guy just to get his resources, and cheated on him and stole all of his money, like stole everything that he had, but didn't care about the money. It was just to hurt him. Mm-hmm. And she left the gold ring that he gave her and stuff like that. So it was just all about just hurting the guy. And then he ends up killing her and burying her deep, deep in the mountains. And the sheriff can't search the whole mountain.
It's amazing. So Detective Blank got 5% of this song. Right?
Yeah. I like never say this. He's like, "Don't you ever say my name." But it's true, man. It's
Guys, first time ever, Boston Chris podcast. It is Brandon Howard from Howard County. The name of the song is The Whole Mountain. Y'all check it out.
Just 22 with a sundress blue and a heart as black as coffee. She drew me in with a chest of Captain Grant and a fork on the spoke so softly. She said, "Come rescue me from East Tennessee." As she rested her head on my shoulders. So I made her my wife, then she turned like a knife with a stare like still colder. Well, I loved a woman who loves to roam, and her lies flow like a fountain with her cold, cold heart. Still the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. Now the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. So she took all my pay and the silver I saved, and she left the gold ring that I gave her. Pure evil, I guess, 'cause she laughed when she left, and she played this heart like a tailor. Well, I loved the woman who loved to roam, and her life flowed like the fountain. With her cold, cold heart, it's death do us part. 'Cause the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. Now the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. Woo! You know, not always, but sometimes in this life, people get exactly what they deserve. So when the moonlight is gray, I trek to her grave over hill and bitter mile. And as she lays in the dirt, the worms do their work, and in the ground she's finally smiling. Well, I love the woman who loves to roam, and her life flowed like the fountain. With her cool, cool heart, it's death do us part. 'Cause the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. Now the sheriff can't search the whole mountain. Now the sheriff can't search the whole mountain.
Hi, this is Sir Ken Shelley from Adios Fatso. Thank you for tuning in to the Boston Chris podcast.
All right, we're back. We're with Brandon Howard again of the Howard County Band, and I have so many questions for you.
You asked two.
But okay,
no,
so
no,
you
no,
get two.
no, three.
All right, so do I get at least 3 follow-ups?
You get, yeah, you'll be
All
fine.
right. So we didn't. Sorry, guys, we didn't negotiate anything beforehand. But yeah. So the first question is always the easiest.
Sure.
What are your favorite drinks right now?
My favorite drinks?
Drinks, yeah. Alcoholic or not? Doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage.
Okay, well, I'm going to say right now my favorite drink that I've been doing has been water with Celtic sea salt and baking soda.
So this interview, I can already tell you where it's going.
It is.
Wondering
That's what I'm drinking right now. I'm being 100% drinking.
Did you say
I'm
Celtic sea salt?
Yeah, dude, it's really good for you. It's helpful. So I used to have wicked migraines. I used to be a welder. For 10 years I was a welder.
Okay.
And I'd get these vicious migraines, horrible migraines. And so I stopped welding. I donated a kidney, was what happened. I ended up donating a kidney, and because of that, I was off work for 6 months, paid leave. I had a really cool old boss, and he was like, yeah, man, like they raised money for me to donate a kidney and stuff like that, just so I could be paid, while I was away. And yeah, so my migraines went away, but I still had some residual ones. And so I ended up being like this. I just started drinking this stuff, and now I don't have any migraines. So it's my favorite thing in the entire world now.
Where does one find Celtic sea salt?
You have to go to Ireland. It takes a long. No, you just go to a health food store.
No, I just see you digging on the beach. Like just.
This is a clam. This isn't salt. And then I have to I don't know how they make Celtic sea salt. Or they call it gray salt too. But I've been drinking that.
Unrelated story. This is how we learned what a quahog is.
Is that what it is? A clam, right?
It's a giant clam. Yeah.
Is it delicious?
They're not bad.
Do you eat those in Boston?
We do, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it sounds
You know the show, what was it? I think it's Family Guy.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the shows is from the name of the town is Quahog.
Yeah,
Quahog
exactly.
Or whatever, yeah.
Based off of the delicious.
That's where it
clam.
came from, yeah.
Smother that in butter. But the next drink that I love absolutely right now is margarita.
All right.
I love margaritas. Like, I don't know how cowboy it is, and I don't give a damn. I just love margaritas.
It's going to be more cowboy than lattes.
That's true. Who drinks lattes?
Well, I mean,
Nobody does that.
They do on land, man, apparently.
Dude, they're
That's pretty
delicious.
cowboy.
Dude, extra, like, the vanilla latte from the Speakeasy with an extra shot.
In downtown Quitman.
Come on, man. Have you ever been to that place? This place is
I
incredible.
have, yeah. Fairly recently, too. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
I feel like we're there now.
There's going to be a lot of TikTok moments from this interview, I feel. Let's go way, way back. So when you were in the womb, no, not quite that far back.
I was like, I can't breathe. Let me out.
Yeah, come on, man. Sustenance. There is no lattes in here.
Mom,
Banging your gavel down.
exactly.
Let's not ask where the gavel came from. But
Wait, I'm a judge in my mom's womb. I like this, dude.
Well, judges aren't the only people with gavels.
Who has gavels besides judges?
Senators.
Fair enough. I'm a senator. No, I would rather be. You know, that's one of the greatest insults.
Why are they only called gavels if somebody with like dress clothes on?
Yeah, they call it a judge hammer.
Hammers.
They
Right?
call it a judge hammer. Yeah, if they didn't. Do you know the best insult in Shakespeare is from Othello? He goes, "You sir are a villain," and his retort back was, "You sir are a senator."
Yeah,
and I think that's the best quote I've ever heard in my
I
life.
think we should really explore the level of class between hammers, right? Because you have hammer, mallet,
Yeah.
gavel.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's all geographically based,
It has
where
to
they're
be.
from.
Yeah, these are the deep questions that we are learning.
This is
today.
why we podcast.
This is why we podcast, guys.
right.
And guys, comment down below. See what's
Please
your
do.
favorite hammer.
We will create a below just for that reason.
Yeah, guys, just for hammers. Let's see what hammer you like.
Yeah.
Should send a picture of your hammer.
What hammers are we missing?
Yeah.
We got hammer, gavel, mallet. There's got to be more, right?
Say
Sledgehammer. Oh my,
Oh my
God.
gosh, what are we doing? Oh,
That's
a
like
maul.
70s disco hammers.
Yeah, well, a maul.
Ball peen.
Ball peen.
Ball team.
What are we doing, guys?
Oh.
We're slipping on the hammers.
I'm
We're
telling
slipping
you,
on the
we're not
hammers.
only slipping on them, but we're sleeping on them as well. And
That's
that's really
true.
uncomfortable.
It can be.
So you grew up in Southwest Louisiana.
Yes.
That's called a segue, really.
I love this. That was such a good time, dude. Sorry.
No idea where that came.
Southwest Louisiana. Go!
Yeah, so that's like almost like southeast Texas as well.
I was so close. I was like right there.
Are you like over
Almost
the
touching.
border from like Beaumont in that area, kind of?
No, and so like close, daggone close. So actually, a little place just a little bit west of it called Sulphur.
Okay.
But nobody knows where Sulphur is. So
I
just
know
say
where
like-
Sulphur is.
You know what Sulphur is?
Yeah.
That's what it smells
So I
like.
have the son, right? And he's my former navigator. And you'll find out why he's my former navigator right now. So we decided we were going to drive. This is why we podcast. So we decided we were going to drive from here to, what was it, Metairie or whatever?
Metairie, yeah.
And so I left him in charge of the navigation.
Yeah.
Because he's, younger. He should know this
Yeah.
stuff. And somehow or another, he left off driving on highways. Like avoid tolls and highways.
That's the dopest
That's
thing
how I
ever.
learned about Sulphur, Louisiana.
Dude, did you go over the I-10 bridge?
We don't want to talk about it.
How'd you go? Wait. How'd you cross the lake without going on the I-10 bridge?
Again, I don't want to talk about it.
What is happening, dude? Good night, dude.
He turned a 4.5-hour trip into a 7-hour trip.
Golly, man.
Yeah, and he got fired.
This is why you should be allowed to beat children. This is just
We do not condone the opinions of the guests on this show.
They did. We talked about long about this. You talked about like your favorite stances. I'm joking. That's not true.
So what
That's
was it
not-
like growing up in Sulphur?
It was
By
cool.
the
I was
I-10 bridge?
dodging. My dad was swinging. I was ducking and weaving.
I can
It was
see
wonderful.
that.
I was a,
Yeah, it's all because of avoiding highways.
yeah, it was great. Everyone's buried above ground. It's weird. It's strange things. Yeah.
Even the live people are buried above ground.
If they keep living
That's what
on.
the other thing my son kept saying. Why are all the houses on stilts?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. When I was a kid, we would go through the graveyards because they buried everyone above ground.
Right.
And they'd cracked open. And we'd do this game where we'd stick our hands in there and we could see the skeletons.
This was a game.
Yeah. And we'd stick our hands in there, see how long we could keep our hands in there without freaking out. Yeah.
And why?
That's just one weird
Why
thing.
was that a challenge? They were dead.
Yeah, that creeped me out, man. I pulled my hand out quick.
So
I had never-
you lost.
Well, I don't know. No one wins that game.
No, I
You just a
can't
bunch of
imagine.
skeletons up
So
in
what
the
you're
thing.
saying is like Charles is still out there winning that game. So
Yeah, someone
he's
is.
just like, yo, I'm the winner.
Look, he's still in there.
Yeah,
He's still got
just,
his
I'm
hand.
not creeped out yet.
I don't see. It's weird. Like Louisiana's a place where like death, you're very comfortable with death.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, so we would play on the graveyard. So I was like a half a block away from a graveyard, and we would jump from graveyard to graveyard because they're above ground. So it was like playing lava.
Like a platform game.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ground is lava except with graves and stuff like that. And if you just think about that, you don't think about that weird stuff that you do in Louisiana. You just think that's just what everyone does, right? And I thought everyone was.
So you're raised there. How old were you when you got out of there? Because you moved
I
around
was
a lot,
15.
right?
I did.
15.
I moved around a ton. So
So
like,
were you introduced to music prior to leaving Louisiana? In an influential
Oh,
way?
100%. So, like, in Louisiana, it's very much like Zydeco, country music, and jazz. A huge influence from Texas country music there. huge, massive, like country was like all I was. My mom was a dirty hippie, and she gave her life to Jesus. So we stopped listening to all music except for country music and gospel. So I grew up listening to old school gospel, like really old school. Not things like Hezekiah Walker and everything like that, but I grew up listening like Mahalia Jackson and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I was like, that's the kind of stuff that I grew up listening to, because we weren't allowed to listen to anything else. And I grew up in an all black neighborhood in Lake Charles, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was just like what you do. We went to a black church. That's what we did. That's where my mom gave her life to Jesus. So that's what we did. And so we listened to country music as well. And that's pretty much all the big influence. That Zydeco and jazz and blues is huge on there. So that was everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Right. Anywhere you go, that's where it was. So when I moved from Louisiana, my mom remarried, and she ended up moving to Kansas City, and I left and went to Kansas City when I was 15 years old, and that's when I discovered punk music. And punk music is absolutely awesome. And then Louisiana's pretty good in the blues. Like Kansas City is like the blues.
Yeah, it's a blues mecca for sure.
It is 100%.
Did you feel like because you were kind of only exposed to certain genres of music that, like, as kids, right, we rebel against our parents, whether we want to or not. There's always going to be a rebellion there somewhere. It's because they're our parents. But one of the places that is so common to rebel in is music, right?
Oh, 100%.
If our parents are like, okay, for example, Marla Cannon Goodman, her dad is Buddy Cannon.
Yeah.
Right? Willie Nelson's songwriter, essentially, one of his songwriters. And she hated country music growing up because her dad was country music. It's that rebelliousness. Did that come for you as well? You talk about punk music. Was that part of that?
Yeah, 100%. Like punk music was so crazy. I mean, I got into it because of a girl. Really, what it comes.
It's always about
it was. I got into it because of a girl. I ended up writing a song about it called "Save Me, Emma." And but yeah, you're the first day I went from Lake Charles. I was like my freshman year. I walk in. And girls, very conservative in Louisiana. Like I had to wear, it was a public school, and I had to wear slacks to public school. And went there, everyone's wearing jeans, and the girls are wearing like skirts like up to here, you know what I'm saying? And with fishnets. And I'm like, what is happening?
Completely different.
Completely different vibe, completely different culture. Everyone's yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Very respectful, very like homogenous, very well, not for me. I was the only white kid there, but that I went up to Kansas City, and it was just a mixture of people. It was so incredibly different. Like the stuff they got away with, the kids did, like they're just disrespectful and stuff like that. I was like, I was a goody two shoe when it comes to that sort of thing. Really, I was very respectful, and I've always loved my roots. I've always loved my Southern roots, so I had no problem. It actually was. You know what's crazy? It's like you want to rebel. The best way to rebel is to be respectful to someone and to be obedient and actually look for the kindness in people. Because
definitely nowadays that's rebellion. Yeah. That's sad.
Well,
think that way.
Yeah, everyone especially in Kansas City was like trying so hard to rebel that they were literally doing what everyone else around them was. And so I just decided, like, my brother and sister, we moved up to Kansas City, and people would make fun of me for my Southern accent. And in that moment, you have a choice where you go, oh, should I back out of my Southern accent and everything like that? And I was like, nah, screw these people. I'm from Louisiana. My people are from Georgia. I'm leaning into it. And I would just draw it out. I'm like, I don't give a care. Like, what you think? My brother and sister, they lost their accent because of that sort of thing. I'm like, I don't give a crap.
Well, we have that in common.
Yeah.
I moved to Texas in 2001 from Massachusetts. You want to talk about talking funny?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, khakis down here are a little bit different up north. See, khakis down here are a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Up there, it's how you start your car.
A khaki.
Khaki.
A khaki. Oh.
So if you lose your khakis up north, it's like we're not going anywhere. The vehicle won't start. Down here, you're just pantless.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're smuggler. Crazy. You say smuggler.
Smuggler. I could talk right now. I've got 20-something, but there are still words, bro, that I cannot handle.
Yeah.
Like tournament. Yeah, I could if you break it down in syllables, I can do meant.
Well, dude, as hard as that is, the Cajun accent is the one that is like people don't.
It understand. Always shines through,
dude. And yeah, when you meet some I'm not even Cajun. Like I said, my people are from Georgia, but I lived my whole life in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But the Cajuns there are like, see they go.
No, I know.
And I'm like, what? Like most people are like, what are you saying?
And that is English.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, bro, he's saying that the dog is on the lawn. You need to move it, otherwise he's going to eat it. And that's what the Cajuns
My
do.
son said, what did he say? I said, he said his house is on stilts.
Gotta go on. Like the part, like, so this is funny. Have you seen Waterboy?
Yes.
So the guy on the Waterboy, like people are like, let him another day. And my wife would be like, what is he saying? I'm like,
you have to translate for
he's
everybody.
saying, live to fight another day. And like that's exactly how they sound, man.
Yeah.
It was the best impression of occasion. I was like, "Hey,
love it.
come on down there, and that's exactly how they talk. And to me, that makes me feel warm inside.
Right.
Like that's home.
It's
you know?
home.
That's
yeah.
home, man. I love
Takes
that
you
stuff.
back. Especially when you left there as a youngster, right? So
Yeah.
like you left that place as a really young human
Oh, yeah,
being.
100%,
So
man.
you're always gonna think back and miss those earlier years for sure. That was when you were being nurtured and when you were growing up and
We're
your
getting
skull
deep
was
here.
forming. Yeah.
Boston
we're
Chris, we're
gonna
getting
get
deep here,
You
guys.
talked about Barbara Walters, by God.
I did,
Barbara
man.
Walters with a male piece. Anyway.
Prove it.
I'm not breaking out the Barbara Walters impression. I did that one time before, and I'm not allowed.
I meant
back
the
in
man
grocery
piece.
store. So don't do Barbara Walters in Super One. That's all I'm just gonna say.
I would never do Barbara Walters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
Mary.
tried it once. I stick to Larry King now.
That's not the way I understood it.
Guys, we have an audience, and I'm trying to get used to that. But anyway, you talked about your mom, and
I did.
Your mom was kind of gospel-y and conservative. So, what were some lessons that you learned from your folks that still kind of stick with you today? Talking about getting deep.
I would say that the lesson that hit me the deep, unfortunately from my father, I learned a lot what not to do.
And that's still a lesson.
That's still a
man.
lesson.
Yeah.
From my mom, I learned about music and about like when you're as poor as you possibly can, you still got music.
Yeah.
I remember we had an old Zenith, and when you light it up, it had this specific yellow glow to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? The yellow glow from the Zenith? I always thought that was the most beautiful color ever. I I loved it. But my first memory of my mother was, my first memory of my mother is I was sitting on the floor in a shed of a house on 6th and 6th in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And we'd have nothing, but I was laid out on a blanket and she was washing dishes, and then she would sing Elvis. She loved Elvis, still loves Elvis. Why wouldn't she? Elvis is incredible.
Today's Elvis's birthday as we film this, by the way.
Yeah, died on the crapper. Sucks. That's a really horrible way to go.
The Crapper was named after a guy named Crapper, too.
This is that. Yeah, his last name was Crapper. It's unfortunately for his descendants. Anyways, so when I was a kid, she would do this thing to make me laugh, where she'd go like, oh, and then she would shake around. And I remember that was my first memory of all times. I would look up at her and just start laughing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that was like, she would sing Elvis, and then she had the part like, oh, and I would, I'm all shook up. And she would do that over and over and over again. And I remember just rolling laughing.
I love how you're talking about your mom like country gospel.
Yeah.
And now your first memory is of Elvis.
Yeah.
Who didn't do those things until way later. Right?
Oh, right, that's true. But the majority of his work is gospel.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you right now, when we get ready for church in the morning, you ask my kids, that's what I put on is Elvis gospel music. That's what we listen to before we go to church every single Sunday.
That's awesome.
That's serious, yeah.
So you learned what not to do from your dad.
Yeah.
What was that?
So we're Cherokee. Like my dad's almost full blood Cherokee. A little bit of an alcohol problem,
Okay.
and so very much. Actually, we reconnected. So this is kind of roundabout thing, but it was very, very abusive to my mother. Very abusive with us. Very, very absent from our life. I remember like sitting at the window and just looking out and like wishing that my dad would come home just so I could see him. And I can't remember any good words that he's ever spoken to me, any kind things he's ever said. And it was a very hard way of growing up, you know. He had I come to find out later on in life that he had even a worse childhood, like very extremely abusive. And it showed me it made me understand that I should show some grace and understand where people come from and everything. But later on in life, came back in our life and tried to make amends. And very hard thing saying you should forgive people. It's even harder to do it. And so I ended up writing a song called Damn Sure Try. And that song and it's out right now on Spotify and everything like that. But that song is about a dad coming back into a kid's life later and saying, hey, I messed up a lot, but I still wanted to show you what I did wrong. And it's funny that you said that. Like, that's a lesson. A bad lesson is still a lesson. Mm-hmm. And that's what that song's all about.
Just because your teacher doesn't know they're teaching you doesn't make it any less of a lesson.
Exactly. And if you're a good student, you'll learn absolutely in every situation. Mm-hmm. You have
and
to.
I feel as a student of those times, especially when they're your parents, whether it's good or bad, you have a choice to either fall in line and do what you see and what you hear, or you can say, you know what, I want better for myself for that.
I'm so glad
eventually you become that teacher yourself. Right?
And the thing is, it's a weird thing to think that you are separated from your parents and that you would do everything differently than if you really believe that, then never give an excuse for what horrible stuff your parents did. Like I got beat a lot as a kid. That doesn't mean I'm going to beat my kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's nobody there teaching us what things to take and what things not to take from our parents, right?
Yeah,
so we have to decide those things on our own.
Yeah. So I used to be a big fighter. I used to fight people.
Yeah.
That's why I was really I was trying to tell, I was almost half bragging when I was told that detective that I didn't beat the shit out of this guy because like that was old Brandon. Old Brandon would have done that shit, no problem. Especially growing up with the punk movement, that was one of the rebellious things that you could do. Like punk kids would fight, no problem, all the time. Especially Kansas City, rough town, and to be able to say just because that's in my nature, and just because that's what I saw growing up, that don't give me the right to go stomp someone to death. You know what I'm saying?
Of course not.
But I don't think a lot of people do that. We're going to go into Adlerian psychology. Like Adler said that there's no such thing as trauma. There's only bad things that happen to you. And the trauma is a value that you ascribe to it. And that's why I like Adlerian psychology way more than Freud, because Freud is hopeless. It's like, well, you have a horrible background, so you're going to have a horrible future. It's not this is cut as dry as that. I'm obviously oversimplifying
right, of course,
it.
Yeah.
But Adler's like, no, something bad happened to you, and you can use that either as fuel to become better, or you can use that as an excuse to hurt other people.
That's right.
And I'm not saying bad shit doesn't happen.
Exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
It doesn't say that bad shit didn't happen. I'm just saying trauma is a value that you ascribe to. Mm-hmm. And that's not popular at all in our society right
I love that. And it should be.
It should
be more. Because
it's hopeful.
Yeah.
It gives you hope. You're like,
it's a path to kindness, too, like we were talking about earlier.
100%.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, again, we're talking about Southwest Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Now you're in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. You end up in Colorado at one point. You end up now in North Texas.
I lived in Philly for a little bit.
Okay, so Philly. You're all over the place.
No,
I guarantee, as a songwriter, you're a very prolific songwriter. We'll get into that in a little while. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee your creative mind is picking up pieces of your surroundings as you move around. So what were those moments like for you, looking back now as a creative mind? What did those things do to kind of shape who you are now as an artist?
When you move around a lot, you get really used to the lonely.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And being able to...
Were you an only child as well?
No.
Okay.
I have an older brother and a younger sister, and then I have two older half sisters.
Still a lot of lonely in that.
A lot of lonely in that.
Yeah.
A lot of lonely in that. Growing up, yeah. Louisiana's such a dark place.
Yeah.
And it's always cloudy. Like I didn't think that there was such a thing as blue skies my whole life. Like until I moved to Kansas City, I didn't think.
What did Louisiana do that? Why did specifically Louisiana? What did Louisiana do for you to make you feel that way? No blue skies.
It's old. It's old and dark and run down in the most charming way. I find it charming because that's how where I grew up and stuff like that. But it's a place that it's older. Where I grew up it's older than America.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really weird.
Well, if that's how you're growing up, when you finally do see those blue skies, they're going to pop a lot.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I mean?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Then that's why we would go to Texas from time to time, and that's what I loved about Texas. Yeah. Texas was like heaven to me. We would go there. I'm like, this is incredible. This is great. So my stepdad, who is like a father to me, he's incredible. My mom's still married to him. He's incredible. His name is David Scott. He's incredible. and his family's all from West Texas and everything like that. So we were a big Cowboys fan growing up. We were like the only people that weren't Saints fans. We were Cowboys fans the whole time.
How's that going for you?
Didn't work out very well in the end. You know what? Why don't we just keep it? Be friendly, man. Stop being mean.
I'm as friendly as I can get when it comes to the Cowboys.
You like the Cowboys?
Trust that,
Come
bro.
on, brother. No, it was a very.
People always say when I'm making fun of the Cowboys, yeah, well, who do you like? And I'll say the Patriots, and they'll go, yeah, well.
Yeah, they're the best team ever. Take that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah,
more rings than
how's
anyone.
that going for you now?
Still pretty good.
Well,
Still,
6 Super
they're
Bowls,
okay.
I can handle 20 years of bad.
Yeah,
It's all good, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
It's like people used to say that about the Cowboys when they had the 4, right, back in the 90s.
yeah.
We can handle 10 years of bad now.
Yeah.
Here we are 35 years later.
Dude, the dynasty of Troy.
We said 10, not 35.
See, you're being like you're giving like this sideways compliments. You're like, weren't they great way back then?
Well, I can guarantee you I'm never getting a sponsorship from the Cowboys, so I'm not real worried about it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk this much crap about Tylenol, because that's possible.
This is the weirdest podcast I've ever been on, and I'm into it. Let's do it.
Oh, man. Where were we?
We're something about how dark Louisiana is. You
Yeah,
can't get off of
blue skies.
Louisiana. So
We went from dark to blue skies to the Cowboys.
dude, we're all over the place. Man. This is
Dark to blue to dark again.
So look, all these tangents, I love them. That's how life though is.
It is.
Life is all about tangents.
Yeah.
Brother. I'm one of those guys that like I go down the street and I'll be like, I wonder where that road goes, and I just go down it. I love that
That's
stuff.
the ADHD in us, right?
100. How did you know I have that?
We all do, man. Come on now.
You know they call it the hunter's brain because you could sit for like just like the zone out for like hours, and then you got to get super hyper focused so that you can hunt, like and focus on what the prey is.
Are you
They
one
say
of
that's
those
where it
people
came
that
from.
when you read books, you read the same paragraph 6 times?
100%.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Do you understand that? Like,
Yeah, I hate it so much.
what's your favorite author?
Author? Depends on genre, but right now I'd probably go with like, I do audiobooks on my channel as well.
Yeah.
And I've been reading a lot of H.G. Wells lately. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Mine's-
I just did
mine's-
The Magic Shop on my channel.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
That's really cool, man. Well,
Somebody said you have a voice of an audiobook person, so you should try it.
That's
So
great,
here I
dude.
am trying it.
my favorite is Dostoevsky. I love him.
Yes.
Dude, he's great. But try reading the same paragraph over and over in Dostoevsky and try not to get depressed. It's like it's
can't do it.
It's not, dude. So that's definitely ADHD where I just read the same thing. Okay, wait, no. What did it say? But what's good though is like that makes it where I can memorize stuff. So I memorize stuff pretty easily. Stuff like that.
That's good. I used to say that I have a photographic memory. It's just I sometimes forget to load the film.
Yep, that's 100%. That's what ADHD is.
Yes,
it really
absolutely.
is, dude. There's so many times where like I can just memorize stuff and like repeat it back to people, and then like that's really
My ex-wife used to say, I thought you had a photographic memory. I said, I haven't had money for film since the 90s.
Some people I know smoked up.
Yeah, I know that's true too.
Yeah.
Let's try to get back on track here.
That's right, man.
So we talked a little bit at the beginning as the intro that 2024 was kind of your debut year.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
But I imagine not your first experience in music. So when did music become more serious for you? Like when did you pick up a guitar for the first time? When did you write your first song? Things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would say that like I would off and on. I've loved music my whole life. I've sang in the church choir since I was 5. I've been singing forever. I love singing. I love writing. I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, in Louisiana, it's a really tough place. Louisiana and Kansas City both, very tough places. And you're in a place where you go around telling everyone that I'm writing poetry in my notebook. You know what I'm saying? That not where I grew up, but they would.
And now you're telling people about lattes. So you've grown.
Exactly. I have grown. Thank you, man. I have grown. You hear that? So I write poetry all the time when I was a kid and everything because I just loved it. I just thought it was great. I just thought it was cool to write stories out, ridiculous stories, silly things. I thought it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way words sound. I just always have. I kamchatka. It's a great word. That's one of my favorite words of all time. Yeah, onomatopoeia. So I would love words. I thought they were absolutely wonderful. I played music my whole life. I would listen to music, the same song over and over and over and over and over again. I loved everything about it. I considered it a challenge to memorize lyrics and memorize plays. I love Shakespeare.
Were you withdrawn from people a lot?
It was a very rough place where I grew up. and it was very, very lonesome. And if you were near somewhere where you could possibly be in the way, you'd get your ass beat.
Mhm.
And that wasn't just parents, that was outside and
Of
everything
course,
like
yeah.
that. So you have to.
But your safe place was words.
Was words
And music.
I remember as a kid I used to walk through, like, we had these giant fields in Louisiana, and there's these pecan groves, and I would walk through the pecan groves and I would just like sing as loud as I could, because somehow in my mind I thought if I sang loud enough the pecans would fall down, and I was, because it's a little kid, and I just thought that's the kind of weird stuff that I do as a kid, and so it was very withdrawn. But I love people. Well, ironically, I do really love people. And it's a very hard thing to be separated from people a lot and stuff, But so when it came to music, it was really, really natural. I went through
Were you writing poetry before you were musical?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Not even close. I would listen to people would say phrases, and it was really like, if my mom knew what autistic was, she would have thought I was, because I would hear a phrase and I would just randomly repeat it over and over and over again, because I liked the movement of the word. I thought it was like
Are you changing the emphasis too?
yeah,
Like on
100%.
certain words?
Yeah. She thought it was weird. Like it was, and so I would keep it very quietly. So there was a French poet, I can't remember his name. It wasn't Voltaire, but he said that the most beautiful word he has ever heard, collection of syllables, was celador. Celador. You know the story?
I don't.
So he thought it was beautiful. He'd write poems about celador, celador, celador. He named his daughter celador, celador. And listen to the word. Just listen to me sing celador.
Mhm.
It sounds beautiful. It
Right.
really does. Now I'm going to say it, and I'm actually going to work with you here. Celador. No. Listen. Just listen. Celador, celador, cellar door, cellar door, cellar
Right.
door.
Yeah.
That's the real phrase that he heard an English person say, cellar door. And he just caught that, and it sounds beautiful.
Right.
And but that has gone throughout my music throughout. Like, you can find beauty in anything.
That's right.
You can find the loveliness and the glory. Like the Alchemist Stone, right? Like what you most desire will be found where you least want to search.
Mm-hmm.
And that's truth, man. There's like the things that are the deepest things, the most beautiful things are hard fought, and you have to look where you don't want to look.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like cellar door. That's exactly what it is.
And that's armor too, man.
It is, brother.
You're
Dude, are we gonna hug later? We are.
We probably might.
Dude, I like this guy, dude.
Yeah. No, that's armor you're putting on. You're building your own suit of armor there
Yeah,
every
man.
time you're doing that. So when's the genesis of the guitar for you? Or any other musical instrument for that matter? When does that ingredient come into the
Dude, I was off and on in guitar. I played it a lot. I went through a really, really bad marriage where I wanted to be. One time I opened up and I was like, I think I want to do this music thing. I was playing guitar a lot. I bought a mandolin, which I love. It's my second favorite instrument, and I played all the time. I'm like, I think I could do this. Like, I'm a good singer. I think I'm a good writer. I think I could do this. And I was just laughed at for it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm never going to talk about this again. And so, but I've always wanted to do that. And then I ended up getting cheated on, ironically. And she moved out of my life, and I met an extremely supportive woman. And
eye-opening, isn't it?
it was weird.
Yeah,
It was weird. I'm like, I think we should do this. And she's like, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Wait, what was this? It was very strange. I came home one day, when I started doing music, I came home one day.
It's weird what happens, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, dude.
When you're in a bad situation or a relationship like that, you have somebody beating you down, right?
Mhm.
And then you get out of that relationship, and now it's your role to beat yourself down.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Or not to do it.
It's like you
know?
take over the role of your ex of being your own worst abuser, so to speak.
Right, 100%.
And then you find that supportive person that comes into your life,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are encouraging and being your crutch and all of those
Yeah.
things, and you're the one that's your ex now that's beating your own self down.
And it's so
weird.
It's so hard to break out of that cycle.
Absolutely.
And how I did it by the grace of God, with the love of a great woman, but also understanding that just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it has to happen in the future.
Right.
So I came home one day and she was like, guess what? You're going to be on the X Factor. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I took a video of you and I sent it into them and they want you to audition. And I'm like, oh, cool. Came home a different day. She's like, guess what? You're going to be in a band. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And she's like, they got these people that are looking for singers. I want you to get, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was very weird.
You have to have that.
So I did that for a while, and I was in these bands, and I ended up taking over the band, and like people like and starting to write music. But I always noticed that I was way more enthusiastic than everyone else was. You know, I felt like Benny the Jet Rodriguez in Sandlot, where everyone like I like playing baseball, and Benny was like, let's play right now, let's never stop playing, let's play forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and that's how I was about.
Well, that's your safe place, too, right?
Well, and it's what I needed to do.
Right.
Like it's inside of you.
You talked about blue skies. That's your blue sky.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Well, and John Lee Hooker said that it's in him and it's got to come out. And I think about that all the time. So
and that could be tough too when you're that passionate, just trying to find other people to surround yourself,
especially with
that
songwriting.
feel it that way.
Especially with songwriting. Songwriting is like, hey man, I made this. We take a look at that real quick, and they're just like, yeah, let me crush that real quick for you, and to be like,
They don't see it the same way that
oh
you
my
do.
gosh,
No,
it's rough.
it's very true.
So when I got done, the big genesis were like, this is what I have to do. I was a welder. I loved welding. By the way, welding is witchcraft. I don't know if you know that. If you've ever seen someone weld, how are these two metals just melting together right under your eyes? It's witchcraft. I'm pretty sure it's witchcraft.
It probably is.
I'm telling you, man, I still
That
don't
and
understand.
glass.
Dude. Yeah, dude. And I just took sand and melted, like, get out of here, bro. This is witchcraft. I know witchcraft. This is witchcraft. Anyways, so I was all set to be a welder for the rest of my life. And then I started getting vicious, horrible, like migraines where I would go work for 4 hours, run in the back, throw up, go back to welding. And I'm like, had no clue how it would. I mean, I'm like, this is horrible. It got worse and worse. Nobody knew why I was doing it. And then until a doctor told me that I had mild epilepsy. So like the flashing is giving me migraines that was causing me to throw up. So I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
And he told you to go dig on the beaches of Dublin.
That was an obscure reference, my friend.
When you talked about Celtic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he told me to do.
Circular interviews, right?
So I got, I know we're only 50 minutes in, but I got to tell you this one story. So you're going to love this. I'm sitting on my couch trying to figure out what I'm doing because I'm holding my stomach because I just donated a kidney. And I'm just like, I'm going to watch documentaries. And what documentaries do I watch about music? And they're talking about Napster. And the Napster thing was saying that, hey, music has changed and we need to be okay with it. And this guy said, look, music used to be a guy on the street corner with a guitar getting nickels thrown at him, hoping he's going to get harassed by the cops, hoping he's going to make enough to eat dinner that night. And this is what he said. The guy was so brilliant. This guy doesn't even know how he changed my life. He goes, maybe music goes back to that. And when he said that, something in my heart leapt. And I go, I do it. Out loud, I said, I do it for that. I do it for that. I would do music just for nickels on the corner. And then when I said it out loud, I went, oh, shit. Because it wasn't like no one was around. I just said it out. I felt like I was unction in my heart.
Transcendental, right?
And I was just like, yes, very transcendental. And I was like, wow, this is insane. And I went, and I had I call them brave moments where I go, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. It's crazy. And I went, God bless my wife. I went to her and I go, I think this is what I'm meant to do. And she goes, yeah, obviously.
She already knew that already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's like a very kind individual.
Yeah.
She wasn't forcing me into it. She was just like, you need to figure this out. And I was, like I said, completely content. I was working 60 hours a week as a welder. And I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
I love it. Guys, we have a brief commercial for you guys from my buddy Pappy Middleton over there at Palmyra Studios. He has an offer for you to be an understudy of Pappy Middleton. You could use the actual Abbey Road console. Not one of them. The actual Abbey Road console is in Palmer, Texas. Pappy, tell them about it.
I'm putting it together right now, and I'd love to get it out that any student, I don't care how old you are or what, if your heart lies within this kind of domain of the sound, playing, any of that, I'm gonna start taking one day out of every couple of weeks and invite students in for a very small charge, and I will tell you whatever you want. Any question you got, I'll try to answer it.
Well, I will certainly put that out there. I'll make this a little ad for you, and we can share it
Because
everywhere.
they'll have full access to the studio everything. I can tell them everything about how all of this started from analog into the digital world, and you'll be able to have hands-on, and I'll show you why analog sounds better than digital.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely cut this out. I'll make a little ad out of it, and we can share it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Because I'd love to do it. That's my legacy, is to leave with.
It's the pass it down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So we're back, Pappy. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you get in contact with Pappy if you want to learn how to do everything that man does. It's just ridiculous. If you haven't been to Palmyra out there in Palmer, I highly recommend you visit as well. He does all that stuff. So contact him. Just visit the guy. Is what I'm saying. Like, holy crap, what an experience out there. We're here again with Brandon Howard of Howard County. Before we get into kind of this is going to sound so stupid, but before we get into the funny stuff, which hasn't started yet apparently, we're going to talk about the genesis of the name Howard County. Now, obviously, it seems pretty obvious. Your last name is Howard.
That's it.
But there's also a Howard County, Texas, in North Texas.
Big Spring.
So I'm assuming, and that's a bad word, that the connection is there somewhere.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
So where's the genesis?
So I feel like there should be a deeper story about this, but this really
Make
not.
something up.
No, this isn't. I don't have to. This is weird. You're gonna think this is weird. Stop what you're doing, but come back though and listen to this. But go look up who Brandon Howard is. My name is Brandon Howard. Look who Brandon Howard is. He's the illegitimate son of Michael Jackson. That's a true story.
Yep.
He looks just like Michael Jackson. They said that they denied the paternity and everything like that, but that dude looks like Michael Jackson.
If you go to YouTube and type in Brandon Howard interview, the only thing you're getting is that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And
We're going to change that today.
And it seems like he's been through enough. So I was like, I got to come up with a different name. And so I came up with like just Howard County. Like I just think it sounded good. It rolled off the tongue really well. I kept saying it for weeks at the end, like, you know how I do. Yeah. I'm like, Howard County. Welcome to Howard County. And then I found that Howard County is not dead center of Texas, but like roundabout center of Texas. And I love Texas. I've always wanted to live here. I've lived here for 4 years. My wife is from Texas. She's from Temple, Texas. And so, dude, this was a no-brainer living here. And I found my home. Mm-hmm. I've always been a Texan. I just didn't know it till I moved to Texas.
Well, I got to give you some flowers because 2024 was a huge year for you. As somebody who's been following the Texas charts since 2014, gosh, 11 years. I'm getting old, y'all.
Yeah.
So 11 years of following the charts. Howard County comes onto the scene in 2024. Mm-hmm. You have 2 songs in the top 200 for the year. Mm-hmm. Just for reference out there, if you're from outside of Texas, we have an awesome infrastructure here in Texas where we have terrestrial radio and all these Texas homegrown stations. And it's not just in Texas. It extends to Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska, Louisiana and all of the other places. And they all report as well. To have 1 song in the top 200 is unheard of in this state. To have 2 is ridiculous.
It's an insane honor.
And what that means is spins.
Yeah.
That means you have 2 of the songs that were spun the most. And not only were they top 200, but they were both in the top 100. Did you know this?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you did, because I'm going to tell you anyway. The first one was Now It's a Party, which was spun number 74.
Oh, nice.
Okay, had the 74th most spins last year. And then Tiny Town was number 86.
That's
Of most spun songs in Texas.
That's awesome.
In your first year.
Yeah.
That's going to be eye-opening.
It's a huge honor. And I didn't know what I was doing. So at all. I got this awesome people come along, this great production company called Broken Road Productions came along and helped me out. And they've been working their booty off to help out with promotion and stuff like that. But I'm still lost. I know how to sing, I know how to play guitar, I know how to draw a crowd. I just don't know how to navigate all that stuff. It's a brand new world. I'm learning a ton. I'm learning a whole grip of stuff.
Well, when Neil emailed me and he was like, "Would you be interested in Howard County?" I was like, "Duh."
Yeah.
Like, I was already on board. Like,
nice.
I'm following the charts again. We just started podcasting again in May, so it's been less than a year. So just trying to kind of implement myself into the scene and into the charts and understanding who is where. It's all changed. There's so many different people.
100%.
But there's very few with 2 top 100 songs for the year. I know it doesn't sound like much. This is for the whole year.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And it's an honor. It really
And
is.
I imagine, like, as a songwriter, you have to look at those charts. This is me speaking. If it was me, you're looking at those charts, and you probably see some of your heroes' names right around yourself. Wade Bowen, Randy Rogers is there.
Chad
Jason Boland.
Chad Cook's
Chad
crazy.
Cook. Yeah,
I
he's
love him
incredible.
so much. Ryder Grimes is another huge one.
Yeah.
Peyton Howie, dude, she's like
So Peyton Howie's going to be my marquee artist of the week next.
dude, she's incredible. Dude, we did the what was it, the
Future Faces.
Future Faces artist, and so it was a competition to see who could.
T-Triple-R, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was competition, and I was like, I'm not trying to be arrogant. And I'm like, I think I got this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna win this. And then she sang right after me. I'm like, I didn't even want to be on here anyway. I didn't even want to win. How about that?
So
man?
ridiculous.
Dude, she's so good. Dude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
yeah.
yeah, she's
She'll be on the show hopefully sometime this year.
And a daggum sweetheart.
Yeah.
What a sweet.
And she
sweet girl.
answers all her own. To see, there was the Boston. Do you hear it? Answers. I heard it myself. Answers.
Well, you know what?
She answers her own social media,
Dude, yeah.
which is very.
Dude,
It's less and less likely.
she's just down home, just a straight up cool girl, man.
She's awesome.
She's a cool girl, man.
I'm excited to have her on the show. Hopefully later this year. She's super busy too. Tori Martin's another one.
Oh yeah, I was
Just had a number one hit. Her first number one.
No
hit.
way, good for her. Congratulations, girl.
Yeah, Lost in the Country. That's a great song. But let's get back to Brandon. So let's have some fun. I have a few segments.
Give it to me, man.
I think this is going to go well.
Go
You
for
have
it.
no filter.
What?
And we can't-
What?
We can't have a filter on these.
Okay,
I
give it
know
to
we're
me.
in a coffee shop,
Okay.
but no filters.
Okay.
See what I did there?
Okay.
Speakeasy, downtown Quitman.
Delicious, great coffee.
That's called brand placement. We're going to put it.
Dude, we should. That'd be cool.
No, it will be.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's already there.
Like it's right
For
above
everybody but
It's right
us.
above my head, right now.
Perfect.
Nice.
Hey, whoever the editor is, that would be me. All right, so let's have some fun.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? Let's play another song first.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're going to talk about "Lay Your Lovin' Down."
Lay your loving down.
And so, what's the song about?
Okay. This is something that I
This
thought
is a song he wrote about me on the way up here.
it might be. It's about looking deep in your eyes. Is what
Yes.
it's about.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gently stroking that massive beard. That is an incredible beard. Can we talk about how incredible that beard is?
Please.
I got beard jealousy.
Yes.
Coveting your
It's
beard.
because you're Native American.
Yeah, I know. This is as good as it gets right here. I don't know if you know, I can't grow hair here.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
So I found out last night, I swear to God, this is true,
Yeah.
that I have the makings of a handlebar.
oh, you didn't
I've
do it?
never, ever tried to even
I'm going
do
to
that.
get you some beard pomade.
You know how I found out?
Talk to me.
Melted peanut butter. I was like, what
That
is
could've gone
that?
worse. That could've
And
gone
it was
worse.
just like clinging in the wind, right? And you know how like in your peripheral vision you can just see hair sometimes? That's what happened. I was like, what is that? That's a lot thicker than my hair.
Oh my gosh. Next time use pomade. Just like you just curl it up like
So
that.
I've heard that grease is the way to go.
Is grease the way to
Because
go?
when I saw
Use bacon grease.
when I
It's
saw
delicious.
that I had the makings of a handlebar, that's when the Google machine started working.
And just like-
so I'm like, okay, how do I cultivate this?
These days.
Seems like a branding opportunity.
Dude, one,
Not brand done, but brand
a branding. Yeah, exactly. I got it. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
We were talking about lay your loving down.
Got it. So in Louisiana, there's this thing called cuffing season.
Okay.
You ever heard of cuffing
I
season? I thought everyone knew what cuffing season was. It's when it gets cold, people seem to pair off.
It gets cold in Louisiana.
Well, a little bit. But it's like we're such babies when it comes to cold. We feel the cold like a thin man.
We're fixing to get a storm tomorrow.
I
There's
get
no
6
bread
inches.
in Wood County.
Just like 6 inches.
Yeah.
And
That's 6 inches?
that's what my wife thinks.
Okay. we need to get your wife and my wife together, first of all. All right, come on, back to lay your loving down.
Anyways, there's something called cuffing season. And when it gets, like everyone's fine on their own, and so like when it starts getting cold, everyone wants to nestle in together. And they start like, if you don't have someone to snuggle with in the cold weather, you wish you did.
Yeah.
And it's about like looking back and being like, dude, when the cold weather comes, you start thinking about like that person that was you that you missed out on, the one that got away and stuff like that. And that's what it's about. It's about like when it's summer and there's stuff going on and there's like fishing to be done and
Stay
whatever.
away from me.
That's what stay away from you.
Not tough.
You're distracted.
Yeah,
You're distracted. You know what I'm saying? But when it's cold and there ain't much to do and the harvest is already in and stuff like that, you start going, whoa. You know, I don't know, man. I kind of miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what it is. I like to write songs that I don't really know of any other. I don't know of any other country song that sings that.
I love that.
I don't know. So I thought, I'm like, we got to write this song. It's got to happen. So that's called Lay Your Lovin' Down, you know.
And it's live here on the Boston Chris podcast. Y'all check it out.
Trees are red and gold, and hay was cut and rolled when I first kissed you in all Texas tiny town. And though we both moved on, but the feelings haven't gone. For my pride, you won't catch me breaking down. But when the north wind blows past, August moon brings to mind how I held you close in front of a raging fire, and you laid your loving down. You laid your loving down. Oh, you laid your loving down. It'd be fair to say, warm nights and July days, you really find me lost in the past. But in the fall, call hard cold, you'll find me heartbroken, 'cause I knew you'd come and warm my very fast. But if you won't stand again, our love be doomed to end. Well, tonight, girl, I just don't care. So come lay your loving down. Come lay your loving down. Oh, oh, oh. Come lay your loving down. Oh, oh. Come lay your loving down. Sing it, son. But if you won't stand again, would our love be doomed to end? With night, girl, I just don't care. So come lay your loving down. Come lay your loving down. Oh, oh, oh. Come lay your loving down.
All right, we're back. We're gonna finally have some fun with Brandon, guys. I know it's been
drab.
it's been really drab and
I'm
depressing,
sorry.
and you guys are
I'm
probably just down and Zoloft, which we don't condone either, by the way. It
No,
will
you
make
live.
you
Do what
happier
you wanna
for a
do.
time, but
Do
it's
what you
not
wanna
worth it
do.
in the long run. I speak from not experience. Okay, so we're going to talk about Mount Rushmore.
I love Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
my third favorite mountain.
Really?
No, I don't know. I just.
Mount Rushmore of Texas artists.
Mm-hmm.
So you only get 4. No honorary mentions. Do not mention a 5th person.
Well, see,
Or a giant hook will come out from the direction of Kelly, and she will just drag your ass down the stairs.
Kelly would never do that.
4. That's what you get. 4.
So, but I gotta do.
The top 4.
How do I do
Texas
a band though? How do I do a band?
You don't have to do a band.
But I want to do a band.
Well, that's on you.
So
That's a you problem.
I will do the symbol of the band should be in the places of the faces. Can I do that? Because
Sure.
there's a band that I think is like the George Washington of it.
Do you want to do Texas bands?
Well, I can no. I mean, I'm back and forth with all this stuff.
Well, an artist can be a solo person or a band.
So I'm more drawn to bands.
Okay, let's do Texas bands then.
But then I want to do an artist.
Okay, then do 3 of one and 1 of the other.
Can I do 2 and 2?
Sure.
All right.
As
So
long as you don't do 3 and 2.
fair enough.
It's called Wood
that would
County
be an
math.
asshole thing to do. Anyways, there's this great. My
I
favorite.
just lost everybody from Wood County.
The George Washington of the Mount Rushmore
Okay.
of Texas country is Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay.
They are like changed my life. Incredible, like awesome, crazy, clever, but very down home. It's beautiful. It's commercial, but not in a commercial way. It's incredible. I don't know if I could write like Evan Felker, I would, because he's incredible. He's a great
think
writer.
anybody-
JR is insane. They're just all great. They're thick. John Fulbright used to be a writer with them and stuff like that. They're just an incredible writing band. They're just nuts. They're just absolutely crazy.
Top of the notch.
They're right up there. They're
Top
right
of
up
the
there.
notch.
All right, so next to it, I would say my Thomas Jefferson, which is intelligent, sharp, is Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Nice.
I think Ray Wiley Hubbard is a great song.
One of my favorite follows on social media. He is so much fun.
Dude, I've never met him, but it
haven't
is my dying wish. If I could just die just having him.
I wouldn't know what to say.
I wouldn't. You'd listen. You just listen. That's what you do. You wouldn't even talk. You'd be like, Mr. Hubbard, if you please. I heard he's a sweetheart. I heard he's made of damn sugar. He's just such a sweet dude. That's from what I understand it. Another Texas like group that I'm just like this.
2 more.
The Damn Quells. The Damn Quells do not get the respect they deserve. The Damn Quells are insanely heartfelt, passionate, incredible writers. Jeez, man, you're gonna make me choose a 4th person.
The 4th, this is what it gets
Roosevelt?
tough.
Who's Teddy Roosevelt? Let's just say this ambitious, crazy, there's this lady named Leah Blevin. She said that singers come from Nashville, but poets come from Texas. And I think about that all the time. I'm like, this is just incredible. Let's go someone that like I don't think gets as much respect. Dale Watson.
Hey!
Dale Watson's incredible.
Yeah.
He's nuts, and he's like he doesn't get the respect he
I
deserves.
love
at all.
Dale Watson.
Dude, Dale Watson is nuts, and he's like,
He has a place right down the street.
No, he
Well,
doesn't.
Not down the
Let's
street,
go.
but it's in
We're gonna
Marshall.
go-
Oh, it's an hour from here.
well, we get a drive.
That's down the street
I
in
guess.
Texas.
No, but
I've been in that building.
really,
Yeah, I met his wife and all that. I haven't met Dale yet, but
they are incredible. He doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Dale Watson's amazing.
He's been in Texas country music scene. Dude is a fist fighter
Great
of a
songwriter.
writer.
Great.
A fist fighter. He just forces good songs. Just like he shoves good songs right down your throat. He's incredible, dude. And then
No honorable mentions. I'm cutting him off right now, guys. Don't worry. He's not getting a 5th.
Billy Joe Safer. But what?
He got it,
Billy
dude.
Joe, Willie Nelson.
All right, we're going to play What the Heck with Brandon Howard.
All right, give it to me.
All right, so the way this works is 5 rapid-fire questions.
Give it to me.
You have to shut your filter off.
To make-
No
shut
checking
off.
Spotify,
No checking Spotify.
because your phone's dead anyway.
It is.
So
It's dead.
Can't check it
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
And just first answer that pops into your mind.
Okay.
All right?
I'm going to do it.
Are you ready? All right, number 1. If one synchronized swimmer drowns, what happens to the rest of them?
They mourn together in a sauna. No, in a hot tub.
Hot tub.
Yeah.
What if there's I think there's 30 of them on a team? That's one giant hot tub. That's a different question.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever tripped on stage? And if so, how did you play it off as cool?
Oh, I didn't. Dude, I coming off the stage one time, I just completely missed the step. And one time, and I just hit my knee really hard and slid down there and just almost busted a hole with my guitar. Yeah.
So coolness factor was just gone.
No one. Yeah. I don't even try to.
Yeah.
I'm like, this happened.
It's hard to do that nowadays anyway with social media the way it is. Because you end up on TikTok.
I don't think there's no video of it. Thank God.
Okay, so-
It was, I thought, when you think the step is like
Yeah.
where
Oh,
it is
I know.
and the step is like down there.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's
ugh.
called age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tripped. It's not because my hand-eye coordination
Exactly,
sucks now.
It was dark. It was a bar.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could go back and witness anything in history, what would it be?
that I would shoot, dude. I think if I could be a fly on the wall, I'd like to see the storming of the beaches in Normandy.
Okay.
That would be insane to watch.
Still after that Celtic sea salt, I think.
100%, bro. It's delicious. Celtic
Do
sea
they
salt.
have that in France?
Ironically, Celtic sea salt is from France. I'm dead
Nice.
serious, dude.
On Normandy.
Yeah, it is.
That's like the brand name, and then the Celtic one is like the generic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The 100%. Yeah.
Right. Why do ATMs have Braille on them, like the drive-up ones?
So that the blind people can get money.
Why are blind people? That's a different.
They're in the
question.
back of the limo.
Oh, so it's just for limo.
Yeah, for a limo. Like, what if someone's
Blind people with limos. So
Well,
Daredevil
dude,
is
just because you're blind doesn't mean you trust everyone. Like, you drove me to the bank, that don't mean I'm going to be like, hey, punch this in for me.
Okay, so you're saying they just drive up on the right-hand side and go backwards into the ATM?
No, they sit in the back of the car.
Yes.
The ATM pulls up.
Okay.
They roll the
So
window
they're
down.
behind the driver.
Right,
Okay.
right. And then they do this, and then they hit it in like that.
So coops don't work.
Right. Hey,
Blind people, no coops.
hey, do you know why chicken coops have 2 doors?
Because then it would be a chicken sedan.
Yes, if they had 4 doors, that'd be a chicken sedan. Damn it, you knew the joke. I'll think of another one. Just
Yeah,
figure
you
it
should. So, are we on number 4
Yeah.
or 5?
Uh-huh.
All right. So are fat people allowed to go skinny dipping?
Yeah. It's called Chunky Dunkin. No, it's Chunky Dunkin.
Chunky dipping.
100%. I don't want to see it, but
All right. So on average, this is averaged out now.
uh-huh.
How often do you? How many times a week do you hurt yourself attempting to dance in the shower?
None.
Zero.
Zero.
Is that an average, or is that just? Zero?
I don't
You've never
dance
done
in the
it?
shower.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't dance in the shower.
So is that trauma related? Like it happened once, and you were just like,
No. I normally shower my wife, and there's no room to dance. Like, there's zero room to dance. I just stand at the back and freeze to death when she decides to graciously, like a gay French king, give me warm water.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm sitting in the back like, please, sir. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. And
there's the TikTok, yo. So one of those questions always gets me a TikTok video. And
Good.
there it is, the please, sir. I love you.
yeah.
All right.
I love you too.
We got 2 more fun segments. This one might be tough for you because it's kind of the same vein as Mount Rushmore. But now what you get to do as Brandon Howard of Howard County, you get to feature one artist in the entire world that you want everybody else to know about. Who is it?
County, though.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. It could be anyone. Let me see. It could be anyone. Dude, there's this great. This guy is Riley Gilbreth. He is insane. He's one of the dude. He's a great writer, and he doesn't get the. He's up and coming, and he's about to release an album, and I absolutely love him. I used to do fence. I used to put up fences with him and stuff like that. He's a great kid, and he's really young, and he won banjo champion of Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, he's incredible, and he won it at 12.
Nice.
He's an insane banjo player. He's nuts. Follow him on social media because he's about to release an album, and it's nuts. He's a bluegrass player. He's been playing bluegrass since he's like 7 or some crazy crap, and he's the most talented guitar player I've ever heard. He sounds like a little bit like Keith Whitley, but it's a lot more vulnerability in his voice. He's really great.
I love it.
And
I'm so happy we added that segment. You're like the 3rd or 4th person we've done that one with.
Really?
It's so cool being able to learn of new people because
Yeah.
we're all inspired and influenced and moved by different people.
What,
you know?
if there's a second one, can I do a second one?
Sure.
There's a guy named Levi Turner.
Okay.
Nobody knows who the hell he
I've
is.
heard of Levi Turner.
He's incredible, dude. He's nuts. Because Cutting Grass is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard in my entire life, dude. He's nuts, man. And so
Awesome. Last segment before we get into what's coming up for you in the future. This is just my professional wrestling segment. And so I have to do it like Hulk Hogan. Okay. All right. Who do you think you are? Who is Howard County?
well, if you're gonna do it like Hulk Hogan, I'll do it like the other greatest wrestler, the Honky Tonk Man.
Ooh.
Do you know the Honky Tonk
I
Man?
do.
Yeah, I'm the Honky Tonk Man.
All right.
That's exactly who I am.
All
Dude, I love honky tonks. I love playing. There's a lot of people that like just the writing side of it, or they just like the singing side of it. I actually love a crowd. I love talking with the crowd. I like playing for the crowd. When someone sings your words back to you, I dare you not to cry.
Right?
Like it's so hard. I can't watch when people sing my songs. I can't watch them sing my song.
I can't even imagine
because
what that's like.
especially when they're like there's a difference between someone singing your words and then singing your words back to you. When you see someone singing your words back to you, dude, it's the hardest thing in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am is I want to be a person that tells the truth no matter what, and I want to be a person that buys truth and never sells it. And I love music. I'm a musician. That's what I am, and I absolutely love it.
I love it, man. Great answer.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard County,
Yep.
second year now, 2025,
That's
after
right.
a hugely successful first year.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, where can everybody follow the journey, follow you on social media, web pages, all of that stuff, and tell people what they can expect coming up for y'all?
So you can listen to us, Howard County Music TX, just on Instagram, Facebook. If you're not faint of heart, you can do TikTok as well. Pretty inappropriate jokes in there, so you'll love that. And then, follow us on all those social media stuff. Spotify, we're blowing up right now. I had 500,000 listens.
Saw that yesterday.
That's so good, dude. Such an honor,
crap.
dude. We're loving it. So like Spotify, we're on so many playlists now. It's incredible. We're going to be playing a ton of shows this year. It's about to come out. We have a bunch of shows. We're going to do a lot of stuff. We're recording some more music in Nashville and here. Probably looking like Fort Worth Sound we're going to be recording at, but still got to bang out some details and everything like that. If you were talking about this other place, what's the name of this guy? I might check him out.
Paul Myra Studios.
Paul Myra Studios, bro. Yeah, dude, that guy sounds
He
incredible.
does it all analog too.
Are you serious? Reel to reel, like tape?
Yeah, reel to reel.
Hell
All
yeah.
that,
It gives such a warm tone to everything, man. It's beautiful.
And Pappy's stupid, dude.
Dude, I gotta check this guy out. I'm not even joking, dude. That
Yeah,
sounds
the
awesome.
commercial's on this episode, so yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, dude, I'm not joking. That sounds excellent. So we're looking for a place and we want to record Texas.
Palmer, Texas, man. It's right there in the DFW, right down by Midlothian and what else? Waxahachie's in that area.
Hell yeah. Dude, yeah, we'll definitely check that guy out.
But yeah, he's out in the woods, and it's an old like ranch house.
We touched on it before.
Erica Badu's Grammy Award-winning album was recorded in that building.
That's incredible. She's great.
They literally wrote 7 of the songs
So
during the session that they were recording the record. Like, what is that?
So the singers, there's a lot of singers from Georgia and stuff like that, especially like Native American. One of my great ancestors is his song was his name. He apparently wrote these incredible Cherokee stuff, poems and everything like that. And where you are physically in the world, it changes the way you write.
Of course.
I believe that whole like
What's in the water? Man.
I'm telling you, and they used to call the rivers in Georgia the singing rivers.
Yep.
Because they were like they inspired song and stuff like that. So I wholeheartedly believe where you record an album, where you write an album matters.
Yep.
I
And the minds behind it.
I'm not trying to be all-
Even down to the session players, man. You can tell which session players are on a record.
Exactly, 100%, dude. And that's why music is so incredible. It's alive. It's living.
I've gotten to listen to a lot of records coming out of Fame in Muscle Shoals here
Mm-hmm.
in the last year. For whatever reason, I don't know what's happening, but like a lot of Muscle Shoals folks are ending up on the show, like which is the opposite of a problem.
Yeah. No kidding.
But like just hearing their records, because my research is music, which is a great gig if you can get it. But I could. Well, that's John on the mandolin, and that's so and so on that.
my gosh.
And it's like, man, you can tell when you really take apart the nuts and bolts and you hear it from the minds that are making the art.
Absolutely.
Then you can really kind of tear it apart as a listener. It changes the way you listen to music when you understand how it's made. It's so weird.
It's and how those
In a good way.
Yeah, but the smallest thing could change it too.
Of
Like
course.
the wrong person in the room, or the wrong location, or
There was a number one record that somebody made where there was a cough in the recording and they left it in.
Yep.
And that made it just so much better. I forget what it was, but you guys can Google that. Look it up, man. It's a super famous record. I forget which one it is. But yeah, make sure you guys are following along with Howard County. One of our sneak peeks somewhere, it'll probably be on TikTok to be honest, is going to be the new single, which is called Cowboy Cry. We just learned about that today, that's going to be the new single coming up. By the time this episode is out, that will probably already be out to radio. So you guys make sure you're requesting that. It's called Cowboy Cry. You guys are going to love the song. You're not going to get to hear it as part of the episode, but if you're interested in it, you can go to TikTok or Instagram, The Boston Chris Show, and it will be there somewhere. if you're a music fan, you should already be following those places anyway. It's called Cowboy Cry. It's going to blow up. Howard County is going to continue to blow up. So you guys get on board. You guys are going to want to know everything that Brandon has going on. I appreciate you being here, man.
No, that's so great being here.
I hope you had fun.
Anytime you want me here, I'm here.
Of course, I'd love to have you on.
Hey everybody, this is Brother Keith and Mike Sauce, and we appreciate you tuning into the Boston Chris radio show.